on not really a training, just sharing to you about virtual summit secrets. So I have had the absolute honor to support a few virtual summits now, and I wanted to just share with you some of my insight and some secrets regarding it. So if that's something that you are thinking that you would like to have in your business, let's make sure I'm here. Yes, I'm live. If then please listen on. I really believe it's the future, especially even hybrid type of events, virtual and hybrid events, because, we don't really know what's happening, what's going to happen with lockdowns and different things in the future. So it's a good idea to get savvy, at least on virtual events and how to run them. So if you don't know who I am at all, hello, my name's Katie Joy, and I'm a digital marketing strategist. I help mum grow lifestyle businesses through marketing and automations so they can have more rest and less stress. So what that is we basically help with messaging, simple opt-in funnels to create more impact and income online, and have more ease and kind of joy and fun when you're doing it, especially if you're out there alone, and so you can get kind of support and assistance. You've got someone there who has knowledge, 5 years or so now online, and before that in working for big organizations, including the United Nations and things like that. So that kind of support to look after you. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the virtual summit secrets. So I have some slides here to keep me on track. Okay, so either a virtual summit or online conference. So what I mean by this is not a Zoom meeting, which of course you can do them on Zoom, but I'm going to talk about kind of and show you and introduce you to other types of software that's out there to create a better user experience. And this is more if you're looking for people to connect in your summit, as opposed to having the one trainer giving information and responding to comments. So you've probably been to events, usually webinar style or Zoom events, when everyone's writing in the comments and the one person is providing information. So what I'm going to talk to you today, it's more interactive, where attendees are able to speak with each other and meet each other. So that's the difference with what I'm going to go through today. Okay, so we're going to look at some shortcuts to a successful summit. And pretty much the first one is, do you need a virtual event? So that's something to ask yourself if you think you really need it. I think if you're doing physical events, you definitely should be looking at online and virtual ones, and you probably have already. And, because you can, apart from the whole lockdown thing, you can expand your reach. So I'll be moving into, and I think the way of the future, are hybrid events. So that's when you can bring people, whatever, because there's probably going to be limitations on the amount of people in different countries and places over time. We don't know with social distancing, but don't you miss those live real events like I do? I love being in a room with people. I love seeing people in front of me. I love seeing people connect in front of me. So I think hybrid events are amazing, because you might bring, say, 12 people in a room that live in proximity to your event, or because of restrictions, and then through fantastic interactive software and streaming, you're able to reach other people in their homes who can't make it. So I think hybrid events are, something of the future, and it brings the best of both worlds then. And especially if you're running your business, then you get the best of both worlds. You get the reach, but then you get all the joy of having a physical event and people in front of you and everything like that. So we're also going to go through pros and cons, what makes a great user experience, and the tech and a bit of the marketing towards it. So we went into this already about whether we need it. So we'll just quickly run into the pros and cons. So of course the pros are you can have speakers from anywhere. There are a lot of pros, but I'm just speaking of this one that I found really interesting with what I've done and what I've seen is that it's great that you can have different speakers come in from anywhere, but from a logistical sense where I have supported people, the cons of that is the different degrees of Wi-Fi that people have, their skills in technology, and also firewalls. This is if you're working with people in certain organizations and if they have security and firewalls, and sometimes, things like this type of software won't work. So they've got to have time to talk to their tech team to allow the firewalls to be released for that technology. Interestingly, it was really difficult a year ago, and now the tech teams seem to be really quick and a lot more supportive on allowing software through their firewalls after the year of being in lockdowns, which is a positive thing because it was more difficult before. The other thing is, depending on your industry, because if you're in what I am in, business and marketing, everyone is sort of fairly tech savvy. But if you're in a different industry, if it's like parenting, if it's some health, if it's healing, there's people who are really good at what they do, but they're not really confident around a computer. They're not really confident on tech. And even if you do rehearse with them backstage and, everyone knows what to do and you've had the rehearsals, when it comes to the day of the event, when you're going live and everything's happening, then sometimes people, if they're not tech savvy, can forget different things. So that's a con around it that we found. But a way also to get around that, a secret for it, is to have as much as you can pre-recorded presentations of your speakers. So what that means is if there is someone on the day who's having problems with their tech, you can shuffle the program around and say, okay, we're going to bring so-and-so up, and then you can put their pre-recorded presentation, and it actually doesn't look like a pre-recorded presentation. It doesn't have YouTube next videos there or anything like that. It just basically looks seamless, like they're presenting on the day. So that's a way to kind of get around that side of it. Okay, so this is something else. The easy way, it would actually be really easy to run virtual events if you had all of the speakers, which is really hard. But if you had them in one location, you can set up your tech setup, your video, your audio, your lighting, your backdrop to make it look professional. You can make that look amazing, and then you can get your speakers to come through and present in your location. So if you have 8 speakers, and if you could bring those speakers at least to one place, it's going to be really beautiful and really seamless. There's not going to be issues with audio, like some people don't have the right microphones, they don't have very good lighting, they're wherever they are, but that's fine. Just depends on what you're looking for. But if you don't want to feel that stress of, is this going to work, or are they going to, is this Wi-Fi, is worried about how different things can go, they're out of your control, then if you like to control your events and know that and want it to be super professional and polished, then it's quite easy and less stressful to have them all come into the one venue, into your kind of studio setup, and then you can run your event from there. Okay, so covered this one already. Make sure you test the software with everyone, and also having tech savvy speakers is really, really good and really helpful, but not everyone will be like that. And don't expect people to be like that, because, you know, people are who they are and they have their own strengths, and tech may not be one of them. So you need to figure out how to make that easy. Okay, now for the good user experience. I found having an easy sign-in process, like signing up and signing in, is really important. One of our events, we had to change the ticketing because it was going to be live and then it became virtual, and it's the way the ticketing thing happened. And because of this sort of like process, when people went to log in on the day, we needed someone on the phones who had to answer like 30 phone calls of people to help them literally get into the event. So you've got to make sure you have enough. You've got to have enough support on hand. You really need like 2 or 3 people there, that someone's going to be, you know, answering questions, phone calls if people are having issues. So you need someone doing that. You need someone listening to the event as a person in the audience, right? That's 2. Then you need someone who's managing the filming and the whole back end part of which speakers are coming up and when. So that's at least 3. And then you need the presenter. So that's 4. You wouldn't think it would be that many people, right? So we're not talking about running like something on Zoom and getting people to come up. We're talking about like running a big virtual event with multiple speakers. You can't possibly be sort of hosting and managing the backstage, prepping people to get their screen share up and to get ready to come on if you're actually speaking. So I would say minimum of like 4 if you're doing that. Okay, so that's the techs on hand for support. Networking booths and tables are great for interactive events, and also collaboration tools, session quizzes, and polls. So I'm going to show you this. Can I make this? Okay. So Okay, so that gives you an idea of how it's different to Zoom. So people can have that choice when they go to your event. They can choose, okay, do I want to, it's on the main stage now, and now like which session do I want to go to? If you can have like concurrent sessions, and then you can have times when people have one-on-one networking, like that speed networking thing that you had. So you can see it can be such an immersive experience for attendees as opposed to going to like a one-way webinar. Tech-wise, these are the two of my favorite. We have HOPIN and AIRMEET. I just showed you AIRMEET, and HOPIN is different, but a similar idea, having like a main stage, having sessions, having a reception area, and having that speed networking session. And they also have an expo area. So an expo area can either have a person like manning the booth, or you can have pre-recorded videos in there. So an example could be you could run a bunch of pre-recorded videos in the expo, and then people could choose to go into the sessions. So people could explain a little bit about their topic in the expo, and then they could be running sessions in the session thing. And then because they've already watched their 5-minute video, then they're going to go to their 1-hour session because they have the interest for them. So it's so much more, coming from the attendee. It really enhances the attendee's experience. So this really depends on what you're wanting to deliver. Okay, marketing wise. So it's really, really great if you have a passionate community. So if you have a passionate community on a topic, whether it's like knitting, so parenting, gardening, dog communicating, like if you've got this passionate community, that's great because people love getting together, connecting together, because it's hard in small cities really to find people in that specific thing. Like the more niche it is, if you've got a community, the more niche, the more impactful, and the more almost like people will be willing to pay to go to your event if it's very niche and very passionate. So if you've got the very niche and the very passionate people, then they'll be more than willing to pay to come and communicate and network and get together with these people. Of course, you can do the promotion through organic and paid marketing. And then you can leverage other sites like Eventbrite or Meetup, Facebook group community notice boards, or any of those niche areas, depending on like specifically the people that you're attracting. So I hope that is helpful for you. Just a little bit of insight. What next? If you need a consultant for planning, launching, or running your virtual or hybrid event, you can email grow@digitalentrepreneur.biz, and we can lock in a 15-minute chat to see if we can help or point you in the right direction, or see how we can best support you there. So that was grow at digitalentrepreneur. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. I'll put it in for you. Grow at entrepreneur.biz. There. You can email that, and then we can have a 15-minute chat. I really hope it's given you great information and insight and have you thinking about virtual events or hybrid events for your business. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here with you and share my experiences with you. I hope you have some joy and inspiration to get going and thinking and planning what to do next. Thank you so, so much. And I look forward to seeing you and speaking with you again in the Scale Up Club for mums. If you're not there already, please just come over here, and this directs you to the Facebook group. If you go to that, it'll just take you to the group. So have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.